Hi everyone, it's Kelly. Well, here's my finished gift bag, or altered bag that I made for JandSib80, her swap, Cybil. Hi Cybil. I am like running way late. I think we were supposed to have these in the mail by tomorrow. So, I have March 10th, but the 10th doesn't run, which that's today. So, anyways, I just finished her. I'm just going to go over the things that I used and then tell you a little bit of what I learned while doing this. So, basically, I used a greeting farm stamp, and it's Cheeky Nurse. I colored her with my Copics. I used a Spellbinders, I think it's like Fancy Frame, that's the red, and I used some Tim Holtz Distress Ink and Vintage Photo, some Prima Flowers, some Tulle, and you know what, I don't recall where the paper is from. It was just a random, I think it's like a Recollections, their big old 12 by 12 paper pad from last year. I also used some seam binding in kind of like a watermelon color, crochet, a couple little crocheted doily things that actually I got from Anna, who's Asian Tiger. Hi Anna, thank you. I used a little, what do you call that thing? It's called a button, but I forget. It's like a vintage button, and it's like opal, or like a, oh, it's a shell. Anyways, there's the button, and I think that's about it. So, a couple of things that I learned. Alright. Basically, well, I wanted this bag, I wanted it to be actually usable. So I plan on stuffing it full of candy and goodies. Hence, emergency candy. And then I just put my, from Blackheart Prims on the front. The back, I use those two sentiments. All you need in life is a friend who has chocolate. I love that little sentiment. And then if you're feeling blue, try painting yourself a different color. And I couldn't resist using that sentiment either. So I'm not sure if they go together, but I don't know. I liked it. Oh, I also used gesso for the first time. But anyways, okay, this is what I learned. Like I said, I wanted this bag to be usable, so I knew at the very end I wanted to Mod Podge the whole thing because I wanted to have a little bit of, stability, structure. So I did everything other than put the image on and the flowers. So once I had all the paper on, then I have a Crackle, it's called Crackle template, and I just sat it on my lap and started using this Mod Podge. That's why it's kind of fat looking, so I learned that. You have to put it down on your desk, you have to work, let me think here, you have to use it on a workable surface, not on your lap. So I learned that. Although I do like the way it turned out, but it did get all over my clothes too. So yeah, so I did all the gesso. Then I took my Tim Holtz Vintage Photo Distress Ink, and and I did all the edges. Then I added all the flowers, and I added the image, and I was like, when you reach that point where it's like you should stop and just walk away? Well, I didn't. So then I decided I wanted to use this Shimmers paints, and and this is cotton candy, and it's a super light pink shimmer. So I took, like a little piece of paper, and I covered the image, because I didn't want her to get that spritz, and I just started spritzing. Well, I didn't have the image completely covered, so all the edges turned a funky pink. The tool turned pink. It looked a hot mess to me. So then I'm like, crap. So that's when I took out the gesso, and I started, using my finger and just kind of gessoing things. And I was trying to cover, the ickiness around the edge of the image, and I had flowers and pearls and all this stuff trying to cover it. And I mean, people, it looked horrible. But I thought, it's okay. Just let it dry. It'll be fine. So then I decided I was going to Mod Podge it. So I took out my Mod Podge, and I sat here and I started, doing it. Well, I'm not sure, and so somebody needs to help me out on this. If you heat set the Distress ink, will it not smudge anymore once you add like Mod Podge to it? Because I didn't, and that Distress ink plus the shimmer paints just started making this milky brown pink mess. And I was so upset because I thought, here I spent all day trying to make this thing, and I just ruined it. So that's when I really walked away. And then I came back and I started noticing that it was not as bad as I thought. So I took out my heat tool, and I started trying to dry it. Well, your heat tool, if you're, well, actually, let me back up. Before I did all that, I decided to use my heat tool to try to make the gesso dry faster. Yeah, that doesn't work. I mean, it may lightly dry the top layer, but if you kind of have a thick spot, what it does, it'll make a huge bubble, and the bubble will pop. Because I sat here and it did that. So, mental note, if you're going to use gesso, be careful with your heat tool. But anyways, getting back to the Mod Podge mess. So then I took my heat tool again and I started drying, and it started clearing, and it wasn't as bad as I thought. And I really wanted it to look aged and, what's the nice word? Vintagey. Some people will say, well, that belongs in the trash. Others say it's vintage. So I don't know. But needless to say, I learned, a few things. Basically, Mod Podge things first. Maybe afterwards, you can use this, I'm thinking, because I think it would stick to the Mod Podge. Maybe heat set it before you Mod Podge anything. I don't really know. I'll have to find out the next time I do it. So, yeah. Oh, and so then this morning I woke up and the image looked horrific. So I couldn't peel it off because, I stuck that sucker on there good. Well, luckily, I hadn't used this Spellbinder framelit thing. I just stuck the image. So what I did was I colored another image. I had this that I hadn't used, and it fit perfectly, and it looks so much better to me. So it was able to cover everything totally up, and I'm happy. And that's what counts, right? So I hope the recipient of this enjoys it. She is subscribed to me, and I am subscribed to her. However, I don't know if she watches my videos. I about had a heart attack when Cybil gave me my partner, because I was like, oh my gosh. I said, have you seen this lady's stuff and the things that she creates? I mean, her stuff is so pretty. And I was like so nervous. So, you know, I was hoping to get a newbie like me, so I wouldn't feel, you know, so like, oh my God, she's probably going to think this is just one big hot mess. And if you do, well, it came from somebody that's a hot mess. So just tuck it away somewhere. But anyways, oh my gosh, this thing is like 10 minutes long. Sorry about that, guys. But I hope she enjoys it. Cybil, thank you for hosting this. It was a lot of fun. And I can't wait to make another one of these now that I've learned a few things. All right, everybody, take care. Toodles.